These are the best.
And I think
years
at that
of your
point
life.
in the movie, we were just like, if high school's the best part of your life, then fuck me.
That's so sad.
Yeah, like, especially,
if this is as good as it gets, I'll just check out now.
Especially, like, is it? Because, like, sir, you're married with 2 kids you love, a good job, good home. Me? Did you peak in high school? Yeah, what are you talking about?
I'd be offended if,
Grab some popcorn and stick around. We've got some garbage to talk about.
Hi, Rogue.
Hey, Zax.
Hi, Karina.
Hey, Zax. Hey, Rogue.
Hey, Karina.
Well, today we're going to attempt to get spooky.
Ooh.
And emphasis on attempt.
That's what the movie tried to do.
So this first off snaps for Rogue for finding this Hulu gem.
Woo.
Grimcutty.
Yay, bad Hulu movies.
Yay, good job, Hulu. You're really just lowering that bar every day.
Every day.
And yet somehow they're owned by Disney.
Yeah.
They're all in cahoots.
Yep.
Wait, am I hallucinating that we found this on Disney Plus, or was it on Hulu?
It was on Hulu.
Okay.
It's on Hulu, but I think we discovered that it was also distributed on Disney Plus.
Oh, no.
That doesn't surprise me, actually. So, yeah. They probably also ran it a few times on Freeform, which is also Disney.
It's also probably a decom if we really look into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if in Prom Pact they could say P in V, they could probably say everything that was on Grimcutty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think it was TV MA because of the blood.
Yeah.
The blood.
Like, it wasn't gory, but there was, like, blood.
And a lot of discussion of, like... We'll get to discussions of what's in this film in a sec.
Yes. So, Rogue, is there any background you'd like to give us before we attempt to explain to viewers the magic of Grimcutty?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've watched Grimcutty twice now, and it's so forgettable. I don't remember most of it. But, I knew that I had to watch it. The reason I chose to watch it and determined that it was a bad horror movie, the description, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I thought I had it pulled up. Ah! 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the description for this movie is a suburban teen girl and her little brother must stop a terrifying internet meme brought to life by the hysteria of their parents. So, of course, I'm going to watch any movie with the words internet meme in the description.
That's the sign of a good movie.
Yeah, so I automatically assumed this was going to play off of, like, Slender Man, or, like, you know, it's a creepypasta, but not actually a creepypasta. And that's what they tried to do, but they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, watching it again, I think I also noticed, like, clear attempts at, like, capturing what the Babadook captured.
Yeah, I agree.
In that whole, like, the
psychological thriller aspect.
But then, yeah, like, here's the thing, though, like, where other movies with subtlety leave it like, was it us? Was it in our hearts? Or what is really real? And what's really terrorizing us? Grimcutty makes it clear it's both. Which is, like, almost, if it's, because at a certain point you just have to accept that, like, if it's my anxiety that's causing Grimcutty to come, but also it's just Grimcutty coming around.
Just whenever he wants.
then I feel like there's really not that much I can do about it. So I feel like any messages about anxiety that they wanted to talk about here fell flat once they made it very clear that he is very real.
Yeah, like psychological horror, like we mentioned the Babadook, like things like that rely on like subtlety and like your imagination getting the best of you. Grimcutty looks at that concept and throws it out the window and just goes ooga booga ooga booga. Are you scared?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Turn off the internet, parents.
Yes.
Yes,
Kids
definitely
are gonna
lots of
Google
jump
stuff.
scares.
Yeah.
I
A
will,
favorite
and
of American horror.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so scared. My heart's pounding.
and we will include as many screenshots of Grimcutty throughout this as we can. Just
He
because
looks so terrible. He looks
he's
so
so-
bad.
He's so
he's
ugly.
so big. But I love, like, there's so many horror movies where, like, they're not confident in their monster design. So you'll barely see them. You'll see, like, a glimpse here, there. It's always blurry. We're always running. We're screaming. And we don't see it. But they're like, no, Grimcutty's here to stay. And we just see him. There's one scene. Well, okay, I could talk about it. But we'll get there. But Grimcutty is huge and
looks like the
awkward.
Pebble.
He looks like Jeff the Killer plus Slender Man plus every other creepy
But he
pasta under the sun.
He has such a big torso though. It's not big like it's long or like it's like round.
I think, yeah, his body's like got like a full trapezoid effect going on. I would say
I don't want to Google him, but
there are elements of, like, I feel like he could definitely be live action goth edit Freaky Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
he looks like if I can't remember his
What is
name,
cut? What is
and
he
all the
cut?
anime girlies are gonna go for my throat. But the Shinigami from Death Note, like the
Ryuk?
main one, yeah, he looks like the first draft of him.
Like,
Oh
there were-
my fucking
yeah,
god! I'm
like-
I'm looking at the screenshot and it's so awful. He looks so bad. Who signed off on this?
Okay, so
I love
before
the
we get
underbite.
yes.
Yeah,
underbite?
he needs
So
he
scary.
needs some braces.
Oh my
Ooh, we got a real good one too. Hopefully we can put these on screen because we're supposed to watch this and we were like supposed to be like, ooh, I'm so scared, but he'd come on screen. Just laughed.
Okay.
PS2 character.
We'll
He's
put these
so-
on.
look at
But
his
Karina is just dropping Grimcutty into the chat and like seeing him. I will say this, which is like, again, not like it's scraping the barrel, but like he does look slightly better in motion. But like
That's true. He looks terrible in these stills. What the heck?
yeah, in these stills, it makes him look. Somehow he looks so huge and puny. He looks like it looks like a Tim Burton like claymation stop motion thingy, but like bad and just in the middle of a hallway. No,
It looks like he has
I want to compare
5
these photos
polygons.
with like these screenshots from the film that we watched to like the poster for it. Like that's like, oh, that's kind of scary. And then you see him in motion and he looks like he's made out of paper mache. Like his arms are like
He's a
kind of
walking
two different
pinata.
thicknesses. Yeah, he looks like it. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's
And I think
so
the long
bad.
arms are supposed to be scary, but because they're like bent like that, he just looks so silly.
He just
he looks yeah. He's
I'm kind of at a loss for words. It's so awful.
okay. So we're gonna start the breakdown of the movie. But before we do that, I just want you guys to keep in mind the moral of the story, because they're gonna shove it down your throat and still mess it up throughout this whole movie. But here's
really
the thing.
could never.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parents' hysteria causes their kids to feel anxiety. And that's the metaphor of Grimcutty, because when parents are feeling freaked out about technology, that is when Grimcutty shows up and starts cutting kids.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Which you
Also,
think-
just a heads up. Just a heads up for anybody listening. There will probably be some, like, discussions of self-harm throughout this discussion. Wow, I love repeating myself. We're going to talk about self-harm, but the movie doesn't handle it in, like, an appropriate or sensitive way at all.
Or even really
like, very
acknowledge
unserious. Yeah, like, they're just like, oh my god, this happened because Grimcutty, and then it's like, they move on. So, but just a heads up, we're gonna talk about it respectfully and gently. Just a heads up.
At least a little bit more respectfully than Grimcutty.
And Grimcutty, yeah.
Which is,
Yeah,
the bar's on the floor there, but like,
Yeah.
we'll try.
Self-harm,
Okay.
and this also is a horror movie, so, like,
Yeah.
physical harm in general,
Yeah.
if you're uncomfortable with that.
So, it's spooky time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, our first scene is letting us know the world. We see a little boy in his room sneaking around, and we see a mom on her computer reading articles that are like, teens on their phone, danger. And so already, like, we already told you the moral, so like, it'll click. But this little boy sneaks out of the window so he go around the kitchen, because she's such a. We find out that she's like a mommy vlogger later, but
She's like a crunchy mom.
Yeah, she's truly like very crunchy, no screens, and he's
Unwell?
he's fine, but she doesn't want him on screen, so he's sneaking out through the windows of his own home like a spider monkey to find his way to a phone. But then when she's like got like all the knives like locked up in unsafely, honestly, for her too. Like, even if he didn't need a knife, I think he just wants to make like a sandwich or something. But he goes to the top drawer, opens it, and there's just this box of knives
It's-
just
okay,
sort of
hold on.
precariously up there in the cabinet.
Clear, yeah, it's in like a cupboard on a top
Yeah.
shelf that he has to stand on the counter to reach, so they're supposed to be out of reach of him. But it would also be, she would have to be reaching above her head to grab them.
And like, one wrong move and you're sliced.
And you're done.
Like,
They're just loose in a bin. Like, you drop that, there's a million ways you could get sliced.
like, you could definitely just get a lockbox. You wear the key around
There's
your
a
neck.
there's a
and
plot
you have
point
it at
about a
safe
lockbox
level.
later in the movie that this woman is connected to, so why she can't take her own advice with the knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But while he's using his knife, the mom's looking up her article. We get our first appearance of Grimcutty. And I would say, I like that they don't really build any tension, because,
Nope.
like, the kid looks out the window and you can see Grimcutty's head right there. You can see his face.
The
And then he
hits the
shows up,
monster
so-
immediately.
And I'm like, okay, I don't even really, like, it's just so much Grimcutty too soon, but at the same time, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
for
how
not
much
dragging it
Grimcutty
out.
we get. Yeah, don't build. I don't know. Yeah, because like in a world where there was so much suspense that we didn't
And then
find
we get-
him to like 40 minutes
Yeah.
in, and then we get that.
Just 3 seconds into the film and you're already laughing.
And so he starts running around to get away from Grimcutty. Mom's still scrolling, and it's like, it doesn't even look like she's making progress on this article, so it's like, lady, it's not that small a print, it's not that groundbreaking,
so
especially
upset.
since you're already taking him away from the screen, so you're not learning anything that new. But either way, so the kid's holding the knife and running away from Grimcutty now and barges into the room. And then the mom sees her son run in with a knife and she immediately assumes that he's coming to kill her because he comes in holding it and she's like, stands up and she's like, whoa, son, put down the knife. And then I was
It
like,
doesn't have to be this way. And you're like,
And I'm
what the
like-
fuck's going on in this house?
where are we going with Grimcutty? But then he just stabs her. And that's the end of the
Title
opening
credit.
scene. Yeah. Then we go. And then we'll meet our new family, who's going to be our main family for the movie. So, I don't remember everyone in the family's name, but
I don't remember
dad's
anybody's
name is
name.
Amir.
I know, me
Daughter's
neither.
name is Asha. Mom and son have a name as
And then
well.
mom and son.
he's-
Honestly,
Mom
dad
and
and daughter
son.
are all we need to know about.
That's true because I guess that's so. I remembered who they wanted me to remember. But so okay. So we meet our family. They're nice. They have a nice home, and we see that the daughter has a very internet like hobby. Do we recall her hobby? Because they're going to make sure you remember throughout this movie.
She makes really bad ASMR videos.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
They're also
It's
like, okay, so on one hand, I don't have I haven't watched all of the ASMR that's out there.
There's
But
too
most-
much. There's too much.
There is a lot. Most of the ASMR though that I come across is like story time ASMR or like role play ASMR
Mhm.
or like just the noise and not really like anything else.
mhm.
So it was really weird because like ASMR is very calming and soothing if you like it, but it was just also interesting that her channel is like, I'm just gonna whisper really good tips for you. And you
Yeah.
can be calm, and I'm just gonna whisper and tell you that it doesn't get that bad, and you could just relax and meditate.
It's
And I was
almost
like,
Like
I
there's
don't know,
there's
brush your
affirmation.
mic.
There's
Yeah.
affirmation like ASMR that like you listen to it and you're like, I'm fine now, like I have no problems. This was just like strange.
Yeah,
It
I was gonna
very
say it's like
odd, and I didn't like it.
it's like trying to be affirmation ASMR, but it's not even really that. It's nothing. Like this whole movie.
You can do hard things. It's fine. Go with the flow. I'm like, I don't feel good. I feel unwell.
I feel sick. Yeah.
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 Like get
Just-
out of my face.
Yeah, back up, brush your mic,
Yeah.
tap your nails. No more of this. You're like 14. Why
Yeah.
are you giving me
You shouldn't.
tips?
Yeah. Yeah. What?
You don't know anything.
I'm a grown woman. Get away
Which
from
we,
me.
as we learn, she has no chill, so we shouldn't be taking her advice.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'm so chill. I'm like so zen.
I like I guess her journey is she needs to learn how to take her own advice. But we also find out that her dad also has no chill. Because although I don't think this is the worst thing in the world, but okay, so and the mom is so not on board with it either. Like, she's openly like, look, let's just get this over with. But she doesn't actually support it in a meaningful way. But they have, is it once a week or once a month. But either way, they have phone-free outings where they'll
Yes.
charge their phone and they leave the house together as a family and no one has a phone.
Which seems extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I mean,
Like,
on
have
one
a
hand,
phone-free day in, you know?
mm-hmm.
Or like
in
put your
this-
phones in one bag and put them
Yeah.
on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, like, you know, like, Dad, you're not going to use the phone, so you just have a phone.
Or better yet,
'Cause-
they were going to a school event, so like
Yeah.
have one phone and then leave the phones like hidden in the car. So I don't know. Just you don't have to put them in a
Yeah.
box at home. That's not
Yeah, and
safe.
I don't know where they usually go. I will say though, this one they were meeting up with friends who had phones, so I don't
That's true.
foresee a ton of danger, but still, yeah, it's weird to like for all this talk about this is the other thing too that the movie just doesn't really talk about, but like phones aren't just meme scrolling devices. They have a use. And they are
I'm
a
kinda-
tool that you can be addicted to, and maybe you need to curb your device, but a phone's a phone. It's a very
I'm kind of
useful
surprised-
invention.
I'm kind of surprised since there was kind of a, like, parents need to, like, there was a message that was specifically for parents. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go as far as to be like, I tried calling you because it was an emergency. Why didn't you pick up? And they're like, oh, my phone was in the Faraday box. Like you wanted it to be.
Oopsie, sorry.
Like,
Yeah, like, so they have these phone free out, but also, like, Asha, why do you hate your brother? Because the school event they're going to is to watch your brother play the sax like a pro. Like, I don't know if it's the same instrument, but, like, Kenny G's gonna take tips from this kid.
Yeah, I think they say specifically, like, I think her brother is, like, 12, 13. Like, he's, like, a younger teenager.
Yeah.
And
He's a tween.
the jazz band that he's, like, he's a tween. And the band that he's playing in, the jazz band, they're, like, juniors in high school. Like, he's, like, a very talented musician for his age. And she's just like, oh, I fucking hate my brother. He's so stupid and boring.
the movie tries to play it off as, like, this is just how siblings are. They act like this. They're annoyed by everything, but they actually really love each other. And I'm like, I don't know. I never acted annoyed or whatever with my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that, like, we're mean to each other, but we both know that it's because we care about each other. Like, no, be
Yeah.
nice to me, please.
Yeah,
Writers
like,
make siblings realistic challenge impossible.
that's the thing, too, because, like, I mean, I understand that, like, every sibling's dynamic is different, but, like, me and my sibling, like, we'll give each other the business if someone does something silly. We'll, like, tease each other about it, but it's
Yeah.
like we're both laughing the whole time.
Right.
So, like, it's not really, like, this rough animosity that's there. But the other thing, too, and this is where I'm like, okay, so is Grimcutty sort of good, at least with its, like, moral? Because I do feel like it comes really close to making its points. It's just, like, at a certain point, they just are like, we're out of time. Goodbye. And we move along.
Like, oh,
But I'm
we're
like,
on a movie,
you were
sorry.
kind of saying something here because, first of all, these parents are so ridiculous. So we're going on this phone-free outing to watch our son play the sax. So he doesn't even need his phone anyway because he's going to be on stage. Fine. But then the seating arrangement, it goes a daughter, mom, dad, daughter. And through the whole performance, mom and mom are talking, dad and dad are talking, and then daughter and daughter get up and leave so they can go talk outside. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
respectful because there's a kid up there playing the sax, and you four won't shut up.
And also, I think the only reason I could see that being the seating arrangement is to keep the girls from talking to each other.
Mhm.
But then if the parents are all just gonna talk anyway, what the heck?
I know there are 5 kids up there, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing where it's like, this is them and then someone else is going up after. I don't know what's going on with this, whatever it is. But yeah, like, if I'm there and I'm, like, ready to film my kid and I just hear 2 dads, like, man, you hear about this crazy thing on the internet?
Yeah, do you see this sick meme?
Oh, wow, what is it? I'm so scared. And then when the girls get up to leave, the moms have the audacity to, while they're talking to each other, they're like, she's like, oh my gosh, those girls. And then the other mom, who isn't going to matter in like 5 minutes, but she's like, you just gotta face it. Our daughter's attention spans are shot. You know who else's is? Yours!
Yeah. Watch your goddamn kid play the saxophone.
All he ever
You probably
wanted.
paid good money for the tickets.
And for the lessons, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Definitely for the instrument.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
He's not
this-
renting it from the school if he's that good.
Yeah.
That's his. But okay, so then the daughters go out, and then they're like, at first the teen girl, and it's so funny how this sort of they're just using this to like, for character development, I guess, when I'm like, this definitely could have come up again later and mattered more, but none of this family matters, even though we're spending this time with them.
Mm-hmm.
But, the daughters are talking, and she's like, hey, I tried to text you didn't answer me. And she's like, it's a phone-free outing. And I'm like, yo, aren't you guys, like, best friends? And, like, your parents are both best friends. Why don't you know that they do this however often they do it? Because I would just assume, like, oh, her parents are strict, she might not have her phone right now.
Yeah.
I've had friends like that in high school. It's not that crazy when that's a thing. But then they're talking about her ASMR, and there's this girl, this blonde girl, has left a comment on her video that we just saw her posting up there at the beginning. And it just says, wow. And they're both like, oh my god,
lowercase.
she's evil.
Yeah, they're
She's being so
What she-
snarky.
she's being so shady. Like, what she was saying, it was like, it was kind of right. Like, it was just wow, no punctuation, with nothing else in the message. And like, her friend was saying, like, oh, like, when it's just that, like, she's not saying it like, oh wow, she's saying it like, wow. I'm like, that makes sense in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
like I mean,
it's
I
so
wouldn't
bold
really-
to comment that on like somebody
It is.
who you know, like just on something that they posted online when you're gonna see them at school the next day.
Yeah, because like they don't even clarify what she meant by it.
Literally.
And we don't really
yeah.
but then I guess we find out, because like we'll meet this girl, and another spoiler alert. So this friend just described her as like evil, and she's the most normal teenage girl I've ever met in the world. She's friendly. She's not really like, she wears black and like sort of has taupe eyeshadow. Not
She's
even
Avril
black.
Lavigne.
She's evil. And it's so weird because they describe her as this, and then like as soon as Asha messages her, because Grimcutty stuff is going to start happening real fast, which I guess I appreciate, but then it leads to this weird beginning where it's like, we know the threat of Grimcutty because we saw him in the beginning, but now
Yeah.
it's just these weird, now movie is happening, and I love it because I feel like they take the appropriate-ish amount of time, but then by the time we get to the last half, they're like, you know what, we just need to wrap this up. Okay,
this movie's been
resolve.
going on for too long.
Which makes me feel like it really does give the vibe that like they were filming in order and then they just like
Got
speed
sick of the
rushed
movie.
through the last few
They're like,
minutes.
guys, this is a real stinker we're making. Can we just wrap it up like a day
We're
early?
done. So then Dad comes out and he's like, and then friend bails immediately, and he says, another phone-free outing ruined, or down the drain, he says, not ruined. And she's just kind of like annoyed, and then he has this heart-to-heart with her, where he says, I know that this all seems crazy, but like, I just really want you to give these phone-free things a chance. And she's like, she says, I just feel like there's just so much out there for me to see. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And I'm like,
These are the best couple of years of your life.
Oh, yeah. These are the best
And I think
years
at that
of your
point
life.
in the movie, we were just like, if high school's the best part of your life, then fuck me.
That's so sad.
yeah, like,
Like,
especially
if this is as good as it gets, I'll just check out now.
especially like, is it? Because like, sir, you're married with 2 kids you love,
Yeah.
a good job, good
Excuse
home.
me?
Did you peak in high school? What are you
I'd be
talking
offended
about?
I'd be offended if my parents said that to me, I think. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just like,
Like, the best part of your life was, like, before I showed up.
Before I
Thanks.
was born?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dad. Makes me feel
this
so
is the
loved and appreciated.
best. No job, no nagging wife, kids who know how to put their phone away.
Back when
It's
I
all
was your age,
downhill.
we didn't even have phones. It's the best goddamn years of my life.
Yeah, he just really hates technology, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't
The
think, I think
Industrial Revolution and their consequences.
one thing that is funny, do we ever know what he does? Like, Mom is like a nurse or doctor or something. She works at a hospital and she can patch wounds. But I have no idea what Dad does. for a
Yeah.
living.
I don't know what he does either.
He's
Not a
got
clue.
vague, he's got vague movie dad professions.
Do you know what? I
Um,
bet he's in cybersecurity because of how like paranoid he is about the internet. He's definitely giving he's giving my dad with the internet. It's like, oh, it's so scary out there. It's like, yeah, no wonder you think it's scary out there. Your whole job is people being shitty on the internet and you trying to keep people safe from getting their life ruined.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
I
that
just want to
is
go
true.
on the Blue website and look at pretty pictures.
So they have that thing. Now they go home. And then Mom is scrolling through her social media, but not, and like she passes her own daughter's ASMR and then just keeps scrolling. And I'm like, weren't you guys all talking about how you need to connect more? She's
But that's not
literally talking
connecting.
about how she de-stresses and the things she believes in her ASMR. Like, if you want to get to know your daughter, her YouTube channel
Now's
sounds
the
like a
chance.
great place to start.
Honestly, though, if my mom was on YouTube.com and she found a Kind of Friends video, I think I'd want her to keep scrolling. I don't want her to hear what I talk
Same.
about.
That's fair.
My mom would
I
be
guess-
horrified.
Yeah, I guess so, like, but if you're in high school, you're posting videos on the
Yeah.
internet. I feel like
Yeah.
it makes sort of sense
Yeah,
for a
if
parent to
yeah.
be.
Also,
If you're a minor
like,
on
it's
the
not like a
internet, first of all,
diary.
no. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a YouTube video. If you need to count on an audience. And she's only getting, like, I don't remember what her view
Like
counts were
3
at.
views.
Whatever it was, Mom could have added to the count.
Yeah.
That's all I'll
She
say.
just scrolled past.
But then then Mom and Dad at the same time get a text of Grimcutty's face.
Whoa.
And that prompts one
And it's
of
a
the
fun
first,
little
like,
jump scare.
it's a fun little, and it's on a phone screen and it's so close you can't even see the outline. And it's one thing that's funny too is like, okay, so Bob and I are on like a family group chat, and sometimes we'll get like those like they'll send like different things that they've seen. Sometimes it's like interesting articles and stuff, but like one time the other day it was one of those like you'll find money, send this to 11 out of 12
like
people
the chain.
in the next, yeah, one of those chain things. And I look at it, I'm like, and then I just move on with my life. Which is the normal reaction. These two weirdos call a family meeting because someone texted them a picture of Grimcutty.
Have you seen this man? Every night, hundreds of people report seeing him in their dreams. Like, that's what they do with the kids. They're like, have you seen this guy before? And then they show them
and
a
they
picture
say,
of
no.
Grimcutty. And they're like, no, we've never seen this guy before. And they're like, fuck, damn it. Which corrupted them.
So this is the part where the story starts to fall apart because what internet meme? What are you talking about? And how did it come to life? There's no history of Grimcutty because later on, when she's talking to her friend and she says, or whatever, whoever she's talking to, and she says like, oh, yeah, my parents showed me Grimcutty, and she was like, or I saw Grimcutty, and she was like, oh, where did you see him? He's not on any websites. Can you send me the link? So it's like, so it's clearly not a meme at all, because nobody has seen it on the internet, and the only people that have are parents, and so what's his history? How did Grimcutty come to be?
Yeah, no, there's
he wasn't brought to life.
That's one thing too. No one ever really researches Grimcutty. Like even when
there's no like monster research scene at all.
They try to sort of, but like, well, okay. So now they're like, so they're just warning their kids about this internet challenge that's making kids harm themselves and others, and they're like, okay, that's dumb. I'm going back to my room, basically, which, I mean, what do you even say to that? Like, especially if your parents are already so anti-tech for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah.
And you see this picture and, like, being young enough to understand how the internet works or whatever, you would just be like, yeah, okay, sure. I'll be on the lookout for this creepo.
Mom.
That's the other thing.
Love
is
you.
They,
okay, good night.
They also say in the movie that it's a challenge that's going around. It's an internet meme, and it's also a challenge, and it's making kids harm themselves because it's a challenge. And it's like, what's the challenge? To cut yourself?
Yeah, it's
not
supposed to be like a play.
It's supposed to be like Tide Pods
Blue Whale or something. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, the whole goal is to, like, see how far you push yourself. But, like, they don't talk about that aspect of it, where it's like, oh, the person who was, like, behind this is obviously, like, a very sick person, and they get off on this sort of stuff on, like, people hurting themselves. It's just like, whoa, it's a spooky demon. He makes you want to check out. I'm like, bro, this is stupid.
What's weird about it, though, is, like, the parents get all worked up.
Yes.
The parents get all worked up, but the kids are like, that's dumb. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But somehow the parents are still worked up. It's like, you're not believing your child? Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. They keep, throughout the thing, the mom is like, Asha, since you quit track, you've just been floundering. You're so directionless. And I'm like,
She's 15.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to cut myself because of a stupid, weird, creepypasta face. Like, she's old and young enough to know who Jeff the Killer is, and she's fine. Like,
yeah, she has, like, an understanding of media literacy at this point. She's not a toddler with an iPad.
And like,
she's a high school student.
This is another thing. Okay, so baby brother, I wish I knew his name, but he
Cameron.
is like probably the best character. Huh?
His name is Cameron.
Cameron.
Is it Cameron?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kamran.
Okay. Well, Cameron's the best character because they're having this dumb family meeting and he's like, oh, so like subliminal messaging to like make you hurt yourself?
Like
and then
MK
the
Ultra?
dad has the audacity, again, mind you, this is Momo or whatever on their phone, one picture, nothing else, no video, no link, no nothing. And the dad has the audacity to really say, don't be silly. He's trying to bring some legitimacy to your lunacy, sir.
Like,
he is the
like
only
this?
one
No,
making this
dumbass.
work. So, okay. Then, they all disperse. And, daughter, she's going downstairs to make some toast. And she's feeling anxious. So what does she do? She puts on her ASMR. And then, at the same time, the parents are upstairs freaking out. And, you know, then all of a sudden, Grimcutty just lets himself on into their home. And
Just
she
walks right on in.
screams. And she's like, I see someone. Parents come down, they call the cops, and apparently there have been many calls like this all night. So it couldn't, and she's like, well, someone's dressing up like Grimcutty and pranking people. And they're like, well, it had to be a group because there's no way one guy could move around that fast. And I'm thinking, okay, great. So then it's a group of people doing this. Mm-hmm. I don't know why we're not going to investigate. That sounds like that's you're like, oh, well, the only way that could be true is if it's this, and we're getting so many calls of people seeing this. But then this cop, and then he pulls the parents aside, and he's so rude about it. But I'm like, okay. So he's like, we don't know enough about this challenge. We think it might be telling them to lie. And I'm like, then watch the video.
Yeah.
Or find the video and see what the challenge includes. Because if it's online somewhere, police, certainly somebody has access to do a search and find a video or something about this. But it's like, I don't know, maybe like, could it be that we just missed it and like Grimcutty has like special spooky powers where he could just like take over your basic reasoning skills?
I know. He's
I really
picture
think
on the internet.
I wonder how old the writer and director was, because he definitely seems like he's about 90 years old.
Yeah,
because like
he's
it is
ancient.
because again, the moral being like don't worry about your kids so much, I think is helpful and modern. It's just, but then there's things like this where it's like, I don't know. But so then Dad's like, you better give me your phone. So he takes the phone away. He then somewhere in the middle of this, they take the phones, they explain to the children that they have a detox box. And they're going to put the phones in the detox box till this whole Grimcutty business blows over. And the children aren't cool. Well, Cameron is like, yeah, I'll go first. Here you go. We later find out it's because he's got his own secret stuff stashed away, so he doesn't mind. Which, like, okay, I respect that as well, yeah. Cameron. You continue to impress me. But then daughter sneaks out, steals phone, and she somewhere in this connects with Cassidy. That's the evil
who
girl.
left the mean comment
and she's
on her video.
like, oh, hey.
From school.
And she's like, hey, you saw Grimcutty? And she's like, yeah. And so they talk and they loop this other girl in who we don't see till like the end of the movie. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad we're talking with other people. But like, you had a friend at the beginning of this movie too. But we don't talk to her because that was right. That was the freak. I forgot. Off screen. And we don't even see the parents when they call the ones that were at the thing. But Emily got Grimcutty
That's
really
right.
bad. Something happened to her. Okay, so and then Asha has her almost something with Grimcutty, and then she's on the phone with Cassidy and this other girl, and they're talking about Grimcutty, and none of them have seen a video or anything, just that one screenshot or whatever, that one deviant art of Grimcutty.
That one
And
close-up, extremely close-up picture.
like, I love the idea that, like, someone just took a really close-up shot of a Spirit Halloween mask and parents lost their mind. So, they're doing that. They're talking about that. She's, like, ducking in the backyard. The parents are frantically looking for her. And then, she hangs up the phone and she's going back, but the parents are looking for her, so she's trying to escape. Then Grimcutty comes again, and he was behind a car, and you could see his back above the trunk, but he still lifts up and like Bob says he thinks that was supposed to be like him manifesting there, but I'm like, it looks like he was crouched under the chair behind the car, waiting to go peekaboo. I'm Grimcutty.
I gotcha.
I love him.
Oh no.
And then she's running from him and her parents, grabs a knife, then Grimcutty follows her to a bathroom and cuts her arm. And then she's like,
Ow, ow, ow.
ouch! And then she grabs her knife to stab him. And I think she stabs him a few times.
She does.
But-
She gets him
Sticks
pretty
him pretty
good.
good.
And then the parents are coming, and all they see is their daughter holding a knife and her arms bleeding. And I'm like,
There's only
okay.
one
Well,
answer.
and then she gives them, first she's like, I can't believe you guys won't believe me that I saw this dude. But then she's like, look, I used the knife to steal the phone. I heard you guys coming, got spooked, cut myself. It was an accident. It was not me harming myself. It was, it was hijinks. It was shenanigans. And Dad doesn't even want her to go to school. Oh, right. That was the other thing. In that phone call, they all were like, we've got to get to school tomorrow, whatever you can do so we can talk more.
Mm-hmm.
And Asha, and now her parents are like, you don't need to go to school. Don't worry about it. And she's like, I need to. I feel like it would help me be normal again. Blah, 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 blah. Let me go to school. And then Mom is like, yeah, just let her go to school. And then Dad says, if anything happens, it's on you, to his wife. Because she
I did
let
not
her daughter
remember
go
that.
to school.
Jesus Christ, like, this family's so
And then-
dysfunctional.
And then Mommy is like, can I speak with you upstairs? And then they go and they argue. And I'm like, okay, Mom, what is your skin in this game? Do you believe in Grimcutty or not?
It's really hard
What
to
is
tell.
happening right now? Then they get to school the next day. Only 20 kids have shown up. Everyone else is ditching
In the whole school,
because...
apparently.
And I love that on short notice, the principal is so confused. And I was thinking, like, honestly, at my school, if everyone was, like, pulled out because of this meme, I would be like, what do we even do? Like, okay.
Why?
I don't
Why
know.
are you making us
Like, I don't know if the principal has children of her own or what, but they find last minute this guy who could come in and be like, do his little fun show
Type
about
5.
the ups and downs of social media.
I'm a motivational speaker, but I'm also cool and hip with the kids.
The only thing that was missing is he needed to sit on a chair the cool teacher was.
Yeah,
I'm not
Like,
going to
flip the
respect...
chair around backwards.
Yeah. I got to watch you flip the chair and then sit on it backwards if you want my respect. Double points if while you're sitting down you turn your cap backwards.
Yeah.
Just let me see it all in one fluid motion. That's coolness. So then her and Cassidy go to talk, and they're like, oh my gosh, this Grimcutty stuff is crazy. Our parents are like brainwashed. What's going on? So then they have to go to this house to find a computer, and we meet this guy who's rich and his parents are out of town, so he's safe. Because his parents don't love him.
Yeah, literally.
That's his protection. But he's throwing this party, and everyone's like, yay, we don't have school because of Grimcutty. And they use his he lets them use his laptop, so they find Crunchy Mom from the beginning. And they're like, okay, now we've got a lead.
On this crazy internet lady.
This is something, okay, so they're doing that, and they're like getting ready to like, I don't know, do whatever. But at one point, while they're at the party, this random guy is like, get your knives out, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And he starts live streaming. He's like, Grimcutty made me do it. And everyone's like holding knives and going like crazy.
Like
Oh,
fake
and
Halloween knives.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like, why do so many people in this house have a knife?
Yeah, they hit up Party City or Spirit of Halloween before it was in the RSVP.
No, it
But,
must
like,
have been a
if I was-
Grimcutty theme, because they had Grimcutty's face projected on the, like, side of the house, remember?
I forgot about
Oh,
that.
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
And
Oh
then
my
later, they, like, show it, and there's, like, a... like, that kind of sound.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be scary.
And a sting, yeah.
But, like, Asha, hun, you know you're ditching school. You know who your parents are. When you saw someone live streaming, why didn't you duck behind the wall right next to you? I would not be caught dead on someone's, like, social media if I was
Oh my
somewhere I was
gosh.
not supposed to be. Like, that's just common sense for me. But, because she even makes a face like she's like, this is not going to go
She's
well
like,
for
I wanna
me.
go home.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I guess you didn't have a phone, too. That was the other... Which, again, you're right. They should have brought this up. Because, like, my parents' thing growing up was always like, look, maybe we'll be mad in the moment, maybe we won't, or we'll talk about it in the morning. But if you're ever somewhere and you need to get home, just call us. We'll deal with it later. But just call us and we'll take you home. And I did actually do it once. And, like, the car ride was actually pretty chill. They weren't, like, that mad. I didn't really even do anything. And they were just like, okay, well, I'm glad you called us. You want to go grab something to eat? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry.
Oh.
But,
That's the appropriate way to handle the situation, parents.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Be
chill.
decent.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I understand that emotions get the best of us, but, like, if your kid's freaking out and then you freak out, now we're just all freaking out and nothing's happening.
Yeah. Like, be the adult in the situation and help your kid, please.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, here's kind of where things start moving a little faster, at least in the sense that, like, a lot of nothing for a while till things happen again. So, to just sort of skip us along, unless is there anything here that you guys want to talk about a little bit more?
You know, now that
I think-
we're, like, going over, like, beat by beat what happens in the movie, it's... Nothing happens, but so much happens. Not even so much happens. The plot is very basic. Like, spooky ghost monster demon is on the phone. Parents are freaking out. Kids are chill. Spooky guy shows up. Oh no, I'm scared. And now I'm being haunted by ooky spooky guy. I go to school. I do some internet sleuthing. I go to a party. I do more internet sleuthing. I find a lady who might be connected to this. And then, like, that's not a lot of plot points, but at this point in the movie, it feels like we've been watching it for 4 years.
Oh my
And it's
god.
so
yeah.
boring.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Like, the pacing is atrocious.
Terrible.
Parents are losing their minds. They are like, where is she? We've got to find her.
I don't know. Maybe if you gave her a phone, you could
call.
Yeah, you could know where she is.
It's almost like phones are useful. Almost. But then I think she like uses the computer to text little brother, and she's like, I need you to Google this lady for me. And somehow
did we talk about the backup computer though?
Oh yeah.
So little brother, I think we sort of we mentioned it, but yeah, so he's got a backup computer, so he's fine. He's living his best life. But Asha asks him to look up Crunchy Mom because she needs more information about her. Somehow he finds this woman's address. But in that time, so he finds the address, I believe he gives it to her or something like that. But then when the parents pick her up from the party, they're so mad at her. And then I don't know why she did this. I would just say it was this girl from school. I just wouldn't bring up my relative. But she brings up little bro, and she's like, because Dad has this app installed so he can like see who's using the computer or whatever. And that was part of little brother's hesitancy in doxing this woman. But Asha convinced him, like, it's important. We need to do it. So then, when he sees that, and he's like, what did you do? And she was like, I just asked him to look something up for me. And then they're so mad, but now they're worrying about him. And so then Grimcutty comes and like just chokes him.
Oh my god, yeah.
The Grimcutty is so funny because if you don't have a knife near you, he can't use a knife, so he'll just
He's gonna improvise.
You.
Yeah.
So now Son is in the hospital, and Mom and Dad are mad at Asha. This is all her fault because she couldn't just live without her phone. And like, on one hand, I can kind of see feeling that way at this point, but like, no. Because on one hand, if it's like, look, maybe we're being crazy and ridiculous, but they never say that. Because I'm just thinking, like, if I'm so scared, I would just be like, look, maybe this is irrational, but just humor me. Worst case, you can resent me a little bit more. But you'll be safe, and I'll be okay with that. You know, like, I can live with that. But they're like, we know what's best for you. Obviously, this is the only course of action to take. Mm-hmm. So, they're all mad at her. Now they're at the hospital. We find out that Cassidy is also in the hospital, and so many other kids have been getting Grimcuttied, and nobody believes them, and, like, the psychiatrists are coming. And this is where Asha... she finds Cassidy's room and they talk, and she in between that, she got the address of Crunchy Mom. It's fine. She got it. Okay, great. And she stole the keys. But she's talking to Cassidy, and she tells her the theory that, like, when our parents are worried about us, that's when Grimcutty shows up. And then Cassidy says, oh no, my parents are talking with a psychiatrist now. If what you're saying is true, I'm dead, because my parents are going to be really worrying about me in a few seconds. And then she's like, okay, well, you're in my heart. And then she bails. So she goes to find Crunchy Mom. Yes.
It's so stupid.
Okay. So we go to Crunchy's mom's house, and daughter is just like, hey, or Asha is like, hey, Grimcutty's going around. I saw you blogged about him. Can, like, you give me some more information? But she's not saying, like, he's terrorizing my town. We need your help. You unleashed this menace to our town. And then she's just like, no, I never heard of him.
This makes it seem like Crunchy Mom was the, like, cause of Grimcutty or something. But I guess Grimcutty only terrorized her family until she spread it to other people. I really don't know
it follows, but bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I really don't know what the takeaway was supposed to be with Crunchyroll. Like, because she blogged it, And then she said, like, she doesn't even say, like, she regrets sharing it. So at one point, I think there is a way to watch it and take away that somehow Grimcutty shared himself through her account or something. But I have no clue. So Asha gets in and, like, Crunchy Mom is like, you need to leave. We're done here. But she sneaks in and finds Son from the Beginning's room. And there's no chance of him sneaking out to go to the knife cupboard now because he's locked and tied up in a room.
In like a padded, like a closet
In his
that was
closet,
converted to
yeah.
a padded room.
Yeah. Which is wild. Wild home renovations. I love the mommy vlog series that was.
I love a good DIY project. Do you think there's a Pinterest tutorial on how to make this?
Hello, sir. What do you want? Nothing?
I want to
Well, I
see
see.
my little boy.
But then, she frees the little boy, and he's like, "No, you don't understand. Don't
It's for
And
my
then
own safety.
the mom gets a gun. But meanwhile, while all this is going on, Asha's mom was hot on the trail, and she gets there. She knocks on the door. Asha's like, Mom, she's locked her boy up and is starving him. Grimcutty started with her. Ah! And then the mom is like, oh my gosh, this is so cringy. You're embarrassing me in front of this wonderful, crunchy mom. Ah, I'm so silky right now.
Not silky.
Then the mom, somehow she's hit her gun so fast. I don't know where she put it. But it is like a big old shotgun. So then the mom is like, or Crunchy Mom is like, yeah, if you guys could just like leave my home, that'd be great. And then Mom of Asha is so mad. They're walking out. She gets in the car and she's like, and then she's freaking out internally. And then Asha sees Grimcutty in the rearview mirror, so she's like, Mom, calm down, calm down. And then she's like, you want me to be calm? No. After everything you've pulled, you don't think about anybody but yourself. Da, 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 da. And she slams her fist in the car window and breaks it with
It
her
shatters.
fist.
And
And only gets like a little scrape. And I'm
it
like,
also, it shatters, but not like safety glass, like a car window would
Yeah.
shatter. It doesn't like turn into pebbles. It shatters like a house window.
so yeah. That's also, yeah.
It's
So
more dramatic that way. She's
Yeah.
so angry.
But that was the wake-up call she needed. Because, ouch, I cannot worry about my child when I am in pain. Because no humans ever had two feelings at once.
Yeah.
But that's good. Because Grimcutty goes away. And then, so then her mom is like, I guess that really was like everything sort of clicks in her head. She's like, I'll be right back. So she
I
goes
still
to the
don't
door,
know why.
and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if like hitting. Okay, there's a few different takes. Okay, one, hitting the glass window snapped the Grimcutty's hold over her, and he has been subliminally messaging everybody this whole time. Two, she remembered, oh, right, I am a mandated reporter. And, like, whether my daughter's full of crap or not, I do kind of have to look into that. Which is
I feel like it makes more
fair
sense
enough.
for it to be the second one, but I don't think the movie is smart enough for that.
That's true.
She's like, oh, my hand's busted up. And she has a moment of clarity like, wow, I'm acting pretty crazy right now, too, aren't I? Maybe my daughter's onto something. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Because the daughter's like, where are you going? She's like,
She's like, just
just
in the car.
just wait in the car. Here's a phone. She gives her a phone, too, which
Yeah,
is
here you go.
like...
Watch some baby sensory videos. Here, I'll put the fruit one on for you.
Yeah, so right now, Mom is not worried about her daughter right now. She's worried about herself and, like, what she's become. So, she goes back and she's like, Crunchy Mom, my daughter's a lot of things, but she's no liar. where's your kid at?
Where's he at?
And then she goes up, and then they both they hear screaming, and Mom asks Crunchy Mom, she's like, look, did you release it? Is Grimcutty real or not? Just let me know so I can stop worrying about all this. It's caused quite the stir in our little neighborhood. And then also, I love, what are the I guess, like, he does go local because, like, this Crunchy Mom lives, like, within driving distance of them.
Yeah. Everybody
That they both
that
got
they
there within,
found-
like,
everybody
yeah.
that they found with, like, Grimcutty, like, lived in the same area.
yeah, so
I also like
He
how
doesn't
we're
get-
referring to it like just as Grimcutty, like the phenomenon of like all this. It's like it's just got you got Grimcuttied.
you got Grimcutty. It's a dangerous game.
Dangerous out there.
Dangerous challenge.
You know, like you get Bloody Mary,
Yeah.
you get Beetlejuiced, you get Grimcutty,
You get Grimcuttied.
you get Five Nights at Freddy.
What a stupid name too. One thing that I'm a sucker for is some good monster design.
Me
This
too.
I'm profoundly disappointed by.
Okay, question.
Mhm.
If instead of a trapezoid form-fitting suit, he wore a cloak, a hooded cloak, does that do anything?
Is he
I
still
think
built
so.
like that though?
I feel like
But the
have
cloak
that
cloak-
disguises it.
Yeah, the cloak would hide his body, so he'd be more like rectangular.
Yeah.
More
Do you know what
Be like a
Here's what we
Roblox
do.
character.
Here's how we fix
Yeah.
this. Here's how we fix this. So we scrap whatever we did here. We get rid of that. Yeah, just throw it out. We're starting from the beginning. We hire somebody who's over 6 foot. Like we need somebody who's real tall. We need like 6'7" or taller. We put them in like a dark cloak, and we do something to cover up their face. So it's just kind of like a black void. And then that's fine. You do something simple, and then you don't have people on the internet laughing about your stupid monster.
I don't know.
And
I
you
think
don't have
even
some
a
people
cloak.
yumming to your picture, though. Because remember...
Because here's the thing. What I described, I'm yumming to that. I'm profoundly mentally ill. But I'm saying, this would be significantly better than paper mache Monster Man that we made.
Fair. Agreed. So...
I would much rather prefer to see the Twitter artists get their hands on Grimcutty 2.0 than the monstrosity that we unfortunately saw
We have all
20 minutes
witnessed.
after our screening. I was going to bed, and then I saw a notification in the group chat, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I look, and
What a
it's that
terrible way to
photo
end a
you
night.
found on- Yeah.
Sweet dreams.
It was so bad. Why were there two? Why were there two? And why was he so skinny and gross? Oh god, I
That's
do
just the
regret
character
this, but
design. What do
Let
you
me go
want?
back. Let me go back and look. I'm not gonna post it, but oh wait, where is it? Oh, duh. Yep, there it is. It's so bad. Why are there two?
Okay. Well, y'all know how Rule 34 works if you're that curious. But anyway, okay, so Mom is like, goes up to find the child in question. And, and then, like, they hear, and, okay, so Crunchy Mom has started worrying about Son during all this because he's now in danger. There are two strangers in their home, blah, 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 blah. Grimcutty's coming. And Mom is looking for the son. We hear screaming. Mom runs up the stairs. Crunchy Mom is like, no, he's fine. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him. He's okay. And I'm like, lady. Lady.
Your son's in a padded room.
Just go up the I mean, if you're here screaming, you should investigate.
Yeah, that should cause some concern.
I feel like that's not very crunchy.
Yeah.
I do think they didn't
But-
make a good enough distinction between hysteria and, like, just being worried about your child, you know?
Yeah, like balance. It's almost like moderation is good in all things.
Yes. Just, you eat your fruit and vegetables and you have a little treat at the end of the day. You lock your son up in a padded room, but you keep an eye on him every once in a while.
Yeah, precisely, yes. Okay, so then Asha's mom goes up the stairs and sees Grimcutty's strangling this kid, similarly to how her son was strangled, but she didn't see that. He's strangling this kid in the air. So mom just sees this kid invisibly being strangled.
Right.
And she's
the
like,
parents can't see Grimcutty, right? It's just the kids.
right.
that can.
They never.
So it's also, on top of this other bullshit that we have going on, it's this, like, Pennywise situation, too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, only the kids see him. And the parents...
Yeah, wow.
It's like
Liam
It's like the Pennywise situation, except worse. Like, everything it's emulating, but worse.
Yeah.
Because in it, the parents couldn't see Pennywise, but it wasn't that he was invisible. In Grimcutty, he's just invisible to parents. So they still see the effect of their child getting murdered.
Yeah, like, they still, like, when Bev's dad, like, goes into the bathroom and it's covered in blood and she's like, you don't see it? He's literally like, yeah, I don't fucking see anything. These parents, they're like, whoa, why is my kid floating?
So then, so mom gets it. Mom is just, it all clicks. She's on board. She is an ally now. So they get back to the hospital. They take the son, and then the son stabbed the mom.
And that's what
Again,
made her relax enough.
Again.
And that got rid of Grimcutty for the time being.
Yeah. Also,
But-
it's gonna become very, like, it's already become stupid. But, like, the way to make Grimcutty disappear, it's either, like, you relax and you find your zen, or you pass out. And then he goes.
It's weird too. Like, he doesn't, for all this talk, like, it doesn't seem like he needs to kill anybody. In fact, it doesn't even seem like he wants to kill the kids.
He just terrorizes
It seems, this is weird, because now that I'm thinking about everything that happens, he doesn't really kill many people. Like, some of them do end up bleeding out, I believe.
Or, like,
but they don't.
hospitalized.
But yeah, they all end up hospitalized, and they say, like, or maybe they didn't make it, but at the same time, I don't really remember seeing any deaths.
Yeah.
I think
don't
Cassidy-
anybody dies in this film.
Cassidy was, like, in a coma or something, but she didn't die.
Yeah, she wakes
Yeah,
up at the
'cause
end.
I'm-
Her
yeah,
parents are
she
like,
does-
"Oh, my
yeah.
baby."
Yeah, I think her eyes at least are starting to open, so it's at least hit or miss if they're not fully open by the end of it. So yeah, so he doesn't really kill anyone. So, like, Grimcutty, okay, I would never say this to anyone else, but, like, Grimcutty, I feel like you're doing all this to, like, validate your existence, because, like, you can't live without this, but I feel like that means that maybe you shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Like,
Not to be
we're-
toxic, Grimcutty, but...
like, it seems like it's time for your soul to lay to rest for good, because, like, if you have to terrorize a town just to pop up and say hi, no.
This attention-seeking behavior, Grimcutty, you have to stop.
Yeah, really, though. Okay, so they go back to the hospital with the kid, and then the mom, who works in medical, who is a nurse, and there's a lot going on. There are so many different children coming in and out of this hospital. So she's like, I need a gurney stat, medical term, let's go. And then she goes to check on her family, and she's trying to, in the worst, most checkpoint way possible, trying to tell her husband that, like, just stop worrying and they'll be safe. But she doesn't just say that. She's just says, like, don't, it's us, not them, just, it's us. And the police immediately come, and I'm like, okay, ACAB, I guess, because the cops come and they're like, ma'am, you brought a kid in who needed medical attention. You can't just walk away. And I'm like, I didn't walk away. I'm talking with another person in the hospital. I didn't even leave the building. But they grab her. She wasn't even like, she literally didn't even say, oh, 1 minute, officers. And then they were like, no,
they detain her fully.
They grab her.
This
and
is
they're
when
rushing.
the movie gets insane, when the pacing picks up and it just makes zero sense.
Yeah, like, I'm on one hand, I'm glad that we're moving along. We are booking
Zooming.
it for the pushing line, for the finishing line. But like,
there are 15 minutes left in this movie, and we're gonna use every second of it.
yeah. So now, Sun wakes up, and Grimcutty's back in the mix because Dad. It's so weird too. Like, shouldn't Grimcutty be after his wife, because that's who he should be the most worried about right now? And then, which also makes me wonder, like, is Grimcutty, like, messing with people's minds or not? Because Dad just loses it. Like, any tether to reality he had is gone. He is just like, my kids are in danger because of Grimcutty. So he's walking around with, like, I don't know what's in the syringe, like some sort of sedative or...
Did we skip the part...
Something
where,
like that.
Did we skip the part where he confronts Cameron?
Ooh, okay, yeah. I think that's first.
I think that's
you're
before.
right.
Because that's like...
So he can... Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cameron starts waking up, and then Dad comes in. Oh, right, yes. Which, by the way, Dad, I was in a coma for like 12 hours. Really? This is what I'm waking up to?
Yeah, just
but
you.
okay.
This is where the cracks start to show that he's, like, losing it.
Yeah, like where are your priorities?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would just be glad that your eyes are open, but no. Dad wants to talk about Son's black market internet history, which, if my kid had a dark web connection, because I don't even know how to install the dark web. Although I think Bob told me that, like, if you know what to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
Which, that's not really helpful for anyone. But, he has they specifically say dark web, right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, here are the things that Cameron has been Googling. Mind you, he says, and I'm inclined to believe him, but Cameron says, like, yeah, you know, my friends at school mentioned it. I didn't know what it was, so I wanted to look it up. Which makes me wonder, like, okay, was this really a dark web search, or was this just...
Google.com.
Yeah.
That's true.
But either way, he's been searching Columbine shooters, bat mating, necrophilia, and I think also Grimcutty. I feel like there might be something else, but it was just really, I think we were talking about this before, but it goes from necrophilia to bats mating.
Yeah, it really goes down in shock value.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, why? What? Like, okay, so when you... first of all, I'm not really the type to go snooping through my kids' tech. Like, whatever I'm not going to yuck their yum. I don't want to... I have no interest in their yum. I don't... Please, as far as I'm concerned, you'll never yum, and that's cool. But anyway, if I did, and I see that they're interested in bats mating and necrophilia, I feel like my next question would be like, okay, so, like, one, after your Google search, what is your understanding of necrophilia?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Why would we look this up, son? I'm a bit puzzled. Can we have a calm discussion about this? instead of me, like, accusing you of being a freak and then, activating Grimcutty.
Really though, like, way to other your child and make them feel like you never looked up anything before. Like, you didn't know what it was. I mean, so the son is like that, and then I believe Asha comes back and distracts the dad, but he's like, now he's against Asha. He thinks she's going to destroy Cameron. He's like given up on Asha's livelihood. So now he just cares about Cameron. So now Grimcutty's only coming after Cameron. And they both, because Cameron runs away, and then Asha and Cameron meet up in a room, and they're like, okay, great. Then Asha's like, okay, I'll make him worry about me, so then you'll be safe. But I'm like, shouldn't you guys still stick together? Because she just leaves him in the closet, and we know that right now he's not worried about you. And that's pretty much exactly what happens, because then Grimcutty starts strangling the kid again until she could get him to worry about her. But, like, that's cutting it real fast to lose.
Even though Grimcutty walks everywhere, he can still somehow manifest. He doesn't have to walk, because he, like, moved from haunting Cameron to haunting Asha.
Yeah, real quick.
Real quick.
Be fast.
Yeah. So then basically, this is so weird how, like, we're really close to the end now, but they keep having standoffs, and the dad he's holding a syringe and he's chasing her through the hospital, not running, but Grimcutty's walking one way towards her, Dad's walking the other way towards her. And yeah, you're right about the manifest. I think Grimcutty just likes walking towards his victims, because once they get outside the hospital, and, like, we were all in the hospital together, but once he comes from, like, this other way, walking up towards her, and it's like, couldn't you have just poofed up right here?
Yeah.
Or something? But whatever. But, of course, ASMR saves the day.
Yeah.
And she remembered, I mean, she didn't, I forgot about this because it's not super important, but at one point Cassidy was like, for someone who makes ASMR, you have no chill. But also, like, if you did have chill, you would be able to be zen no matter what happens. And that's the advice, so, like, not really even her own advice, but that's the advice that helps Asha now. And then she just closes her eyes and lets ASMR be her guide. And Grimcutty grabs her by the throat to start strangling her, but she's cool with it. And so then the dad sees her being strangled. So now Dad has the proof.
All the proof
his child is
He
being
had to see it
strangled
with his
and held
own
up in
eyes.
the
He
air.
couldn't believe his child.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so he stabs himself with the syringe. And then Grimcutty goes away because he's not worrying anymore. And she runs to her dad and she's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, don't be sorry. Like, because he's saying, don't be sorry. And she's like, but I stabbed you. And he's like, I know, I deserve it. She's like, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. I don't know. Stabbing.
And then he's like, and then he gets knocked out. They get medical attention and they leave him be.
Yeah,
but then
it's a great thing that they were at the hospital while this happened.
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
best
this was
place
the
to get
place
stabbed,
to-
I guess.
Yeah.
this of all the places. So then, if that sounds kind of anticlimactic, it's because it
is.
kind of was. It It just is. Because then we just go fast forward. I guess it's been a couple months and she's doing another ASMR video. Like, she's got a black room now or something. Because, like, she's in, like, this black background. Yeah, it's different. It's very true crime-esque or something. And she's like, in case you were wondering, my dad is still alive. And, so is everybody else. But Grimcutty might come back, but he could, and we won't be worried about him.
To Grimcutty. Yeah. He kind of just went away, but now people are wondering if he's gonna come back. And yeah, that might happen. Like, girl, what the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean he might come back? As an audience, that's such a cop out. Like, he's gone, but he might come back. Woo. I'm like,
Grimcutty too.
There was no resolution.
They were just like, all we could do is trust our own phones or something.
I promise I won't Google bad things.
Yep. And that's Grimcutty.
Boo.
So, looking at the Wikipedia page has the cast, the plot, and, like, the reception of the movie. And that's it.
What was the reception?
The reception was bad.
Okay.
Who won the plot? I thought
too
this
long.
would get an Oscar.
Too long?
Yeah, somebody said it's too long.
How long was it? Like an hour and a half?
Yeah, and like
yeah,
we just looked at.
See, like this doesn't even have runtime on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, the movie's literally 1 hour and 30 minutes and then 12 minutes of credits.
Jesus.
And that was too long. Which honestly, yeah. Like, they probably could have made this like 40 minutes and like put it on TV or something.
The Wikipedia page also says that it is direct reference to the Momo challenge hoax and an internet moral panic that reached its peak in 2019, which is funny, I think, because it completely didn't do that at all, though. It also is confused because of that scene with the dad talking about the son going on the dark web and looking up all this horrible stuff, because I'm like, well, are we supposed to believe the son in this instance, or are we supposed to be like, oh, see, there are real dangers on the internet?
Yeah,
it's very unclear.
Right, like, I still don't really even know what the point of that scene was, because he was literally like, yeah, my friends brought it up and I didn't know what it was.
That's what I mean. Are we supposed to, like, not believe him because he was lying about hiding the computer, and he was lying about the computer and lying about, you know, whatever. Yeah. So are we supposed to not believe him, or are we supposed to be like, oh, he's telling the truth?
Yeah, that is the thing. I don't know what they wanted us to do, but I'm inclined to believe him because he's still only, like, 12 years old, so... And he's 12 years old in 2022. So, like, why would the Columbine shooters be that present on his mind without hearing about them? So, I'm inclined to believe Cameron, but also he was a good little brother.
He was such a real one, except for his internet history.
I mean... You know, I don't even hold his internet history against him because it doesn't seem like here's the thing, like, really, if you're really, like, if it's one-off random, each one was so random that those were, like, real Google searches, but if it was, like, bats fucking, then it's like, okay, Cameron. Why is this your only search?
I know what the cold open is gonna be.
Just everybody listening's like, hang on.
What?
It gets flagged on YouTube immediately.
About? Oh my
What are these wacky ladies talking about?
The wonderful world of weird internet searches for young men.
To be a little boy with internet access.
Yes. Well, that was Grimcutty. And were you guys spooked again?
I'm ready. I'm definitely in the spooky mood now.
Good. I hope you guys are ready for this nice Spooktober upon you. And thank you guys for chatting about this with me. And thank you guys for listening. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need friends. Bye.
Bye.